Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Right now, we are literally watching a massive structural shift unfold in the global workforce, and it's creating an absolute golden age for a very specific type of professional. If you're an engineer, or even if you're just currently mapping out your educational path in science and tech, you're stepping into a market that is fundamentally rewriting the rules. We're talking leverage, massive compensation, and crazy career growth. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what's driving this 2026 engineering job boom, and more importantly, how you can strategically position yourself to take full advantage of it.
3. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. According to the latest workforce planning data from the Addison Group, there are currently 3 open engineering jobs for every single qualified candidate. That's 3 opportunities for every one of you. It's wild, right? We are looking at an exceptionally tight labor market, which means the traditional power dynamic between employer and employee, it's completely flipped. Candidates hold the leverage right now. If you've got the right skills, you're no longer just crossing your fingers hoping to get picked. You are the one doing the choosing.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at 1. The 2026 engineering job boom. 2. India's most employable degrees. 3. BTech versus BSc explained. 4. Precision hiring and required skills. And finally, 5. The ultimate salary payoff.
Section 1, the 2026 engineering job boom. Let's look at the forces driving this demand. So, what's creating this perfect storm? Well, when we examine the macroeconomic forces across the globe, it becomes pretty clear. Just check out this demographic split in the U.S. engineering workforce. Nearly 50% of all engineers are age 50 or older. We're looking at a massive chunk of the current workforce, the baby boomers, who are steadily retiring. And as they exit, they're taking decades of specialized experience out the door with them. It's like a giant puzzle with half the pieces suddenly missing, leaving behind a rapidly expanding supply gap that younger engineers desperately need to fill. But hey, it's not just about who's leaving, it's about what we're actually building right now. Simultaneous forces are heavily compounding this demand. We're seeing large-scale infrastructure modernization and rapid tech advancements across sectors like construction, healthcare, and energy. But honestly, the most explosive driver right now, it's the nationwide build-out of data centers. As AI and cloud computing scale up, these massive data centers are popping up everywhere. And they're fueling an intense, almost insatiable demand for highly skilled electrical and civil engineers to design and build the whole shebang. Moving on to Section 2, India's most employable degrees. Let's look at the India Skills Report 2025. So, how does this global talent shortage translate into specific educational pathways? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dramatic trajectory of the BTech degree, based on some fascinating data reported by the Times of India. Looking at the Global Employability Test, which was taken by over 6.5 lakh candidates, just look at how BTech employability has skyrocketed. Back in 2019, it sat at 57.09%. By 2025, it's climbed all the way to 71.50%. This clearly reflects the intense industry demand we just talked about. As industries shift heavily toward automation, connected systems, and software, BTech grads are proving to be exceptionally job-ready for both nimble startups and massive global firms. But hold on, there is a catch here. While technical degrees are undeniably hot, they aren't actually at the absolute top of the list. Yeah, BTech employability sits at a highly impressive 71.50%, but it still trails the 78% employability rate of MBA graduates. Why? Well, because the modern workforce demands a blend. Technical skills get your foot in the door, for sure, but blending that technical expertise with business acumen, communication, and strategy, that is the ultimate sweet spot for employability. It's a great reminder that technology and human skills really have to progress together. Section 3, BTech versus BCS explained. Let's talk about choosing your path. In India alone, you've got over 49 lakh students enrolled in BSc programs and roughly 25 lakh in BTech programs. That's a lot of students at a major crossroads, and these paths have fundamentally distinct philosophies, as highlighted by insights from BML Munjal University. A BTech is a 4-year degree completely focused on application. It's about practical coding, building system designs, and doing mandatory industry internships so you can literally hit the ground running on day one. A BSc, on the flip side, is a 3-year degree rooted in foundational science. It's highly theoretical, diving deep into mathematical theory and research methodology. Simply put, one teaches you how to build the technology, while the other teaches you the core science of why the universe works the way it does. So what does this mean for your wallet right out of college? Well, because of its hands-on, industry-aligned curriculum, the BTech provides a much stronger immediate financial payoff in the private sector.
Average starting salaries for a B.Tech range from 4 to 10 lakhs per annum. Meanwhile, a BSc, which often requires further studies like a master's or a PhD to unlock those high-paying private sector roles, starts between 2.5 to 6 lakhs per annum. The B.Tech is engineered, quite literally, for immediate market entry.
Section 4, Precision Hiring and Required Skills. Let's explore the wait for the perfect fit.
And this brilliantly illustrates a really interesting paradox in the market right now. Despite the massive talent shortage we talked about, it is still taking companies 40 to 50 days to hire for mid to senior engineering roles. You might be wondering, why? Well, Ed Mindel from the Addison Group points out that companies are electing to leave job openings vacant for longer in search of an ideal fit, rather than hiring someone who might take time to train and upskill. This is a trend known as precision hiring. Employers are increasingly ignoring formal degrees in favor of exact technical experience. They want a perfect fit out of the box. They are literally willing to eat the cost of an empty desk for 50 days just to avoid the friction of upskilling a new hire.
So what exactly is this perfect fit they're holding out for? What are the skills that make hiring managers instantly stop searching? According to the data, candidates possessing capabilities in artificial intelligence, data analytics, React, Power BI, Tableau, and cybersecurity hold unprecedented leverage. If you possess these specific upskilled capabilities, you aren't just getting hired, you're dictating the terms. You have the leverage to negotiate flexible work arrangements, enhance benefits, and significantly higher pay. Finally, Section 5, the ultimate salary payoff. Let's look at top-tier compensation.
We've talked about the macro trends, the degrees, and the specific skills. Now let's visualize exactly what this unprecedented candidate leverage looks like in the real world. First off, the specific titles in highest demand right now are project engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and industrial engineers. And this demand is highly localized. Fast-growing markets, specifically states like Texas, Oklahoma, and Colorado over in the US, are seeing incredibly hot demand for these professionals to fuel their massive expansion.
When you look at the actual salary numbers, it's pretty mind-blowing. According to Addison Group's 2026 data, leadership and highly specialized roles are commanding massive national averages. We're talking about a COO of engineering services averaging over $357,000, a VP of engineering sitting at almost $323,000, engineering directors and electrical engineering managers, they're well over the $230,000 mark. Overall, engineering pay is rising by 4.2%. And if you happen to be a senior leader in a highly regulated, high-demand sector like energy or utilities, you could be seeing salary bumps of up to 10%. The financial payoff for technical excellence has absolutely never been clearer. We are truly living in a unique window of time. The retirement of the baby boomers, the explosion of data centers, and the rapid, unstoppable evolution of technology have handed the keys right over to the skilled candidate. With 3 jobs available for every 1 qualified engineer, the power is firmly, undeniably in your hands. So the question I want to leave you with today is this. With demand this high and the market absolutely begging for your specific skills, what will you build with your leverage? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.